Hello, gardening friends. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, and I'm starting out with a view of these banana trees because they may not look like that tomorrow. They're predicting a dip down. It was in the high 30s last night, and there's prediction that we might possibly get frost. And cold weather, usually around 40 degrees or less, impacts the bananas, so we'll see what happens. And I thought I would share with you all what do I do with the plants that I want to save that are particularly susceptible to cold weather. And I keep them here in my garage. I don't think I've ever showed you my little detached guest room. It's also that part of the garage that's not associated with the closet has a separate entrance, and that's where I keep my tools. And this part is where I do laundry. I have a stackable washer dryer there, and it's basically a guest room bed or an afternoon nap bed. So this is where I put the plants that I'm planning on keeping safe from frost. My golden chalice vine, especially since it's got the flower buds on it. My both pitcher plants and my species Amaryllis and Clivia. And there's a plant here that you probably haven't seen before, but it is last year's poinsettia, and it has done really well in the same pot that it came in. You can see it still has the foil there. I don't come out in this area very much. Those French doors face south, so it's about as close to a greenhouse as I'm going to get. So in any event, these are the plants I chose to save. And I thought I would. I also used to paint out here. None of those paintings are mine. That one's mine. In any event, someday I'll paint out here again. Just when the mood strikes me. But yeah, I was looking up on the internet, and it kind of ticked me off a little bit that I had to find it on YouTube, and it hasn't been covered on any major news channels. And that is the fact I remember seeing back in January the Hunga, H-U-N-G-A, Tonga volcano that erupted out in the Pacific. And it spewed quite a lot of water vapor into the stratosphere. That's the second layer of the atmosphere. Depending on which account you want to believe, earlier accounts said it was as much as 50 million tons. Later accounts back in July, I hadn't been following this, but I looked it up and was scouring the internet for data. But basically in the end of July, the New York Times did an article on this Hunga Tonga volcanic eruption and how it potentially could affect climate change. And in that article, they said new calculations showed that the amount of water vapor that went into the stratosphere was, I want to say, 160 million tons, which, depending on which number you believe, increased the amount of water vapor in the stratosphere anywhere from 5 to 10%. So that was a significant eruption. And it's going to increase, I should say, so I don't get taken off of YouTube, it has the potential to increase global warming. I don't think there's any doubt with the volcanic eruption that it is going to bring some global warming for the next 3 or 4 years. But at the very least, that explains why there's so much water vapor up there, and it's going to impact our weather significantly. So you might hear about it on some of these TV shows, news programs, if they start actually sharing data with people if they get knowledgeable people to actually present it, as opposed to the new hirees that normally get the weatherman or woman position. But what does this mean? All that water vapor has to go somewhere. Not to mention the fact that water and ozone react, so that amount of water vapor in our stratosphere is going to impact our ozone layer, basically destroying some of it. And the other thing you'll probably hear more of this winter will be the fact that we're going to get more Arctic blasts because of all that water vapor causing instability. Basically, cold weather stays above our pole, North Pole at least, and it's kind of like a huge hurricane swirling around at the top of the world. And normally it has, you can picture it as having a bowl over the top of it, keeping it in place. And what all this water vapor is doing is increasing instability. And so that bowl is cocking up every now and then and causing cold air to flush out of it. And that's what's happening now. We're getting a polar blast, which is going to be causing the potential frost tonight. So interesting enough, like I say, none of that is on regular media. You have to scour YouTube and other sources to find it. But I was a little upset. I hadn't read about it or heard about it before. So in any event, prepare yourselves for a cold winter. And I'll show you tomorrow, if we get a frost, what everything looks like. After tomorrow, it's going to warm up again, so our Arctic blast will be over. So have a good day and stay warm.